Yo.
Let's take a look at that there.
What do we got here? United Arab Emirates Central Bank. $10.
Something like that. Whatever the exchange is in that currency, I'm not quite sure.
Alright, well, I appreciate the offer. So, Patrick Harsh.
This is money to keep your mouth quiet.
Yes, hush money,
this
baby.
It's all confidential. No one's allowed to hear this interview.
Excellent. Well, we'll keep it on the low. Patrick Harsh, my man. Thanks for interviewing with us today.
Yes, yeah. It's nice to meet you for the first time in my life.
For the very first time.
Yeah.
You look like the picture. You look better than the picture.
Yeah, the picture is actually a picture of Michael Bolton. The story. But I appreciate you saying the similarities are on point. That's what we were going for.
Yeah, I'm a big Michael Bolton fan.
Yeah.
And,
How can you not be? If you're into harsh noise and you're not into Michael Bolton, you're probably a poser.
Yeah, Discogs, Michael Bolton. So, Patrick Harsh, you are the leader of Trashfuck Records. Tell us about who you are. What are your main active projects currently?
Huh. All right. So, what does active mean?
What are you pursuing currently? And tell me about some of your projects.
I guess the most obvious one would be Bullshit Market. That's me and Aaron's band. That's got a lot of history in it itself, but that's mostly we do cut up noise, we do Noisecore. We've got a whole bunch of people that have come in and out of the band, but right now mostly it's me and Aaron. We've got a C30 we're putting out with Winter Darcy, and there's a split that we're doing with one of Natty's projects. We got a tape that's about to come out on Peyote Tapes. We just dropped this split with Frataxin that was supposed to come out a really long time ago. We've been talking about it for a few years actually, and we had to redo it 3 times because of various things that just went wrong in the process of doing it, and luckily we did quality check it each time. Unfortunately, each time we quality checked it, the quality needed to be checked, so to speak. But I don't know. We're in the process of working on quite a few things, and I'm excited where the direction's going. We got more NASCAR sounds these days.
Fuck yeah,
which are pretty important. Other than that, I've had a few solo projects, but they haven't really been up to much. The most active one would be Fuckmaker, and that's just we're actually running down to the last copies of everything that had come out in the last 2 years, and there isn't really anything new to take its place, so to speak. But I'm sitting on hours of audio that I haven't done anything with, as always.
That's a good thing to have in the bank, so to speak. You never know, and you might want to pull that out for sure. I
just need a reason to, ultimately.
I was just gonna say, I've known you for well over a decade now, and I didn't realize that Fuckmaker was you. That's how
really?
That's how elusive you are as an artist. You have so many projects, and it's under your label, Trashfuck Records.
I gave
it's
a lot
other
of them
labels.
a good go. Some of them less of a go than they deserve than others. But I've ultimately championed other people's records that I was working on more above my side projects and my little shit that I had going on. And I guess in retrospect that's probably a mistake, because I jam my own records all the time and I like them a lot, but the time for the hype of those things is gone now, so maybe I'll work on new solo shit in the future, but I don't see a reason to, because I do dental work shit with you now too.
Absolutely.
And we're always busy with Bullshit Market, and I might have a few other side projects, but they're not things I focus on, And I've always just got a whole lot of sounds from a whole lot of people that we're always recording, We're always like finding new sounds to record, and we're always like jamming a little bit here and there, and other people come through, and we piece it all together, kind of like a puzzle. But it's just getting the motivation to do it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I explain my motivation with this stuff is like it's like a light bulb that comes on and off that you can't control. Like there's gonna be periods where just nothing's coming out, and then you'll sit down and fucking drop 3 albums in a week. You know, like
listen, I can have the tools right in front of me, and like I know what I need to do. I need to sit down and like put some shit together, but I could get like I sit right here in this chair and I fucking look at the screen and I see where all the recordings are, and I know where some aren't, and I know how to like get them to where I need them to be to like start doing this. And it's like I ain't gonna do it. The same thing as when I was in high school and I couldn't do my homework and shit. Like, even though it's like anything I did, it got A's on, but then it's like try to get me to do work.
Right, I was the same fucking way.
I don't function that way. You know, honestly, I gotta be on drugs. Like, that'll really get me hyped about like editing some shit together.
Yeah, I feel that. You know, things do help. I mean, like different states of mind, you know, can tap into different things that you're trying to do in your life, and you know, you just
when
can't.
I say drugs, I should probably clarify. Like, I don't like going slow. If that makes any sense.
No downers, peeps.
Well, not none, but they have to be regulated, you know? Like, they have to be in check. If you're going to do downers, kids, you got to do uppers first.
Yes. Every good crack binge ends with heroin, they say.
Sometimes, like, overdoses, too.
True. So, use with caution, kiddos.
Or don't.
Or
I mean, you probably shouldn't. If you haven't by now, I don't recommend starting.
True, I'm with that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Be responsible.
Responsible from Wisconsin.
I would never advocate doing anything ever. Don't do it.
Yes, agreed.
I'll tell you one thing. I did coke one time 18 years ago for my first time, and I've had a runny nose ever since. Can't explain it.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, he ain't lying, so. Yeah, make sure your shit's not cut with fent, y'all. Get a test kit.
It probably is, though. That's the thing. So you should... I'm just saying, like, you might just want to avoid, because all drugs is cut with fent nowadays.
Everything, even acid, I heard.
Yeah, like why?
Who does this? Like,
who the fuck is putting fent in the acid?
Seriously, like, you got a problem.
That's the most fucking ignorant shit I've ever heard in my life.
That's some people just trying to kill people, like,
there's no other explanation for it. You're not, like, saving money. Like, you, for one thing, you got involved in a lifestyle to where, like, you have fent. Like, why do you have that?
Seriously.
Why did you seek that out? You could have, like, gotten other stuff, but that's what you got?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Completely against the fent movement, y'all. Fuck that shit.
No, keep fent out of it. I remember when we were, like, kids, you remember, like fentanyl suckers and, like fentanyl liquid gel packs and
yeah,
shit
the gel.
Like, that was a thing. And, like,
that.
we didn't think anything of fentanyl back then. It was like, oh, fentanyl, yeah, my so-and-so grandpa or whatever, rich kids, and, like, stealing their fucking grandparents' medications. Like, yeah, we'll fucking eat them gel packs and them suckers and, like, little fentanyl pills and all that. And it's like, fast forward all these years now, like, 11 years later, it's like, fentanyl is, like, in all the drugs in powder form, and it's like, every drug is cut with fentanyl. It's like, oh, so now, this is a psyop. This gotta be a psyop, right? All drugs have the possibility of just killing you like that, like the first time, like, because we just shoved all this fentanyl and everything. Like, why?
Yeah, seriously, that doesn't make it very fun.
Nobody likes doing fentanyl. You could, like, spend less money by putting chalk in it, or, like,
Seriously.
fucking some bullshit. Like, why'd you put fentanyl in it?
Seriously, put some fucking salt in that shit
like,
or something.
The tiniest amount that I couldn't put on, like, my freshly clipped fingernails, like, I couldn't put that much fentanyl right there into, like, a decent portion of drugs without killing someone. Like, that's not even drugs, that's just poison now.
Yes, seriously. And, like, you can't you're not gonna have any returning clientele if you kill them off with fentanyl. So that's something to think about.
That's bad business, man.
Yeah, it truly is.
So like it just like adds to like the GOP's mindset of the integrity of the whole drug trade, you know. And it's like, you really gonna like sit back and like give the game to the pharmaceutical people?
Right.
Like that's some bitch shit.
Seriously,
I can't believe that. Money. Like you're gonna make them look more honest than like corner boys.
For real. Fuck that shit.
Not good business.
Necrosho. Seriously. Now, side note. So, I first heard of you.
Let's go all the way back.
All the way back. I was on, MySpace and was just starting to make music under dental work.
We have fans that don't remember MySpace.
Yeah, that's crazy. Seriously,
it's so cool, kinda.
It is.
Except for like, I can see the gray in both of our beards, and it's like it's not that cool.
True, getting old, man. So I found you. I believe it was either archive.org or through great culture, archive.org.
Absolutely. Back in the time when it was relevant.
Seriously, so much shit on archive.org.
Not used as much these days, but that used to be the spot.
The spot if you were dropping an album,
or looking for something.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was either through that or through Dadaist Audio. I think it was like I was on Dadaist Audio and like that linked to their releases on archive.org, and there was tons of your project.
I found out about them like a few years after I'd been involved with before like even the websites, I was mostly on Soulseek and like the Noise Room and shit, and that was my involvement with the noise scene. Like that's how we released shit. That's how I got in touch with like the Polish dudes at Far From Showbiz, and like they hosted like all my first releases that I released outside of like on a Soulseek server. Okay. And like they eventually built me the website for non-quality audio and gave me a FTP space and server for it.
Tell people what non-quality audio is, because I'm fully aware of what this is and I am a fan. But
so when I was like 12 or 13 years old, when was this? 2002? Maybe. It's hard to tell. I had the idea of non-quality audio, and I had the first few releases, which were like various little projects that were mostly mine, and that was the first like 4 releases of the catalog. And I remember like I had this big ass like laser printer from like a failed print company that my parents had, and I was doing a lot of my own, their Xerox quality on a industrial laser printer, like no ink. It was just like burned into the fucking paper.
Oh wow.
So I'd like just like infinite ammo, more or less, and I could just run off copies, and like I got into like them colored poly sleeves and the Memorex poly sleeves.
Yeah.
Like colored, like made all of our shit look like shitty, or at least of a certain aesthetic of the time. Like cranked out tons of those, hundreds of those, had like high speed CD burners and shit. Oh. If we didn't have stickers, we had spray paint, Used to put confetti from the paper shredder in the poly bags just to be assholes.
I think I have at least one of those in the stash somewhere that you gave me years and years ago.
All the 2009 promos had that.
Okay, yeah.
But non-quality audio was mostly a net label. I had a few releases from people that were like akin to Metropolis and like things like that, like Random Insults fucked with us, and I couldn't find a copy of that thing that we put out, the Sounds of Robots 2 or whatever it was, but like we put out a Dethroned Agony CDR, and like he turned out to be a fucking some kind of guy.
There's plenty of them.
I'll just put that, like, just he was some kind of guy.
Yeah, for sure.
I ain't worried about that.
I remember that Dethroned Agony though. Yeah.
Fuck. Just, it's whatever. Like, some people turned out to be like some kind of people, and it's like,
It's gonna happen. It happens in every scene, every subculture.
Especially this scene, like, but especially back then. Like, I think a lot of people, like, that inhabit the scene on, like, the surface level, they've, like, mostly got their shit in check. Like, they understand when they're being, like, cringe or, like, unsavory or, like, not cool to be around.
Yeah.
You know? But back then, when there wasn't a whole lot of this going on, it was hard to, like, link up with people, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
It was really fucking hard. I remember being a teenager getting bullied by, like, 35-year-old men. You know, like, just, like, mad shitted on and, like, straight cyberbullied. Like, just people just being mad shitty to children when they're, like, more than twice my age. Like, that's what the noise scene was like for me growing up.
Yeah.
It was hard to get educated about it because people wanted to be dicks.
And the noise scene, when, you know, you and I were coming up, was a lot different than it is now.
It sucked.
There was, like...
It kind of sucked.
It kind of sucked, but there was, like, nobody. And it was, like, super obscure reaches of the planet type people. Like, it was
to
not...
reach out to people, like, in, like, other local scenes of music and be like, hey, here's a mixed genre show. Come play, like, one of 7 slots. And, like, we're going to cram, like, 3 weird acts in there.
Yeah.
Between a bunch of, like, weird kind of normie acts that nobody knows about. And so they'll see how, like, sometimes they chilled.
Yeah, a lot of times people fucking vibed off of it. And, you know, like, that was so fun doing that. Especially in the small towns, like, when we would do shows in Traverse City together.
Town shows, man. Like, driving 8 hours, like, from where I'm at to, like, Jay told me to come and do this little show. It's like, met someone who, like, connected with me on a spiritual level. Like, what was her name? Rue?
Oh, Rue, yeah, totally. At Radius Recordings.
Yeah, dude, like...
She was cool. I remember that. I totally remember you guys.
Just the clientele that would, like, show up at these shows. Like, it was a weird little mix of people, but it was just a bunch of people who didn't really know what they were getting into.
Totally,
you know? So
yeah.
it was like... It's kind of honest in that way.
Just open-minded, ready for something new, you know?
It wasn't a noise scene.
No.
It wasn't a scene thing.
Well,
it wasn't... This is pre-scenes.
Yes, like, so let's talk about the first time we actually met in person. Like...
Okay.
There was a scene in Traverse City for a minute.
Yeah,
it was like scene kid scene.
Kind of.
Totally.
Like,
hardcore, emo.
Like VFW hall scene.
So
yeah.
we would have to talk
American
about
Legion
the fact
Hall.
that
Yeah.
everyone that came before us, they never lent out a hand while they were active. So as far as, like, we were concerned, like, we really had to get it out the mud and the sticks and, like, the dumb shit. And I know there was shit before us. Like, Michigan was a hot spot of noise before, like, us.
People always will reference Wolf
I
Eyes
don't
here.
want to... I was going to say it. I'm not going to say it. But there was other shit going on, man. Not even just that, but, like, all kinds of shit. And it's like... I remember just, like, even some other people being shitty on the internet. I remember some people being shitty because of some other people being shitty of my age group. And then, like, that was a weird thing. I want to say some shit, but I'm not going to say it.
We can always bleep you.
So...
There's no reason to make it.
I'm just gonna say Texas, like 2006, some shit, whatever. Moving on.
Done. Fair.
Some people still endorse. Probably shouldn't. Because of reasons that are actually pretty bad that nobody's talking about.
Damn.
That are really bad.
Damn.
And everyone knows those peoples.
Fuck. I think I got an idea.
Yeah.
Personally. Yeah.
Think of one of my oldest beefs, and then unbeefed, and then am I possibly beefing or just not associating with?
Damn. I
If
don't
you know, like, some detailed history, like, you probably have a name that pops up.
So we'll come back to our first meeting. What is noise beef? For the uninitiated.
Isn't a thing. It's not a thing. People use that term. It's not a thing. Like, here's the thing. If I have beef with someone over one scenario, say, like, you'll use my stapler all the time and you always run it out of staples, and then you never refill it with staples, and then when I go to staple something, it's out of staples, and I'm like, God damn you, the person that used all my staples up in my stapler. Alright? That's beef. Now, say this guy used up all my staples, right? And he didn't refill my staples. But he did it to, like, put together, like, these paper case, like, CDRs for his noise project. And like, now that's beef, but because he has a noise project, that's now noise beef. It's like, no, like, it doesn't matter what the situation was. Just because noise is involved doesn't make it noise beef. Like,
Right.
The people I've had noise beef with is because I fucking hated them regardless of their noise project. There's people, like, I've had noise beef with where it's like, I actually like their noise project. Not gonna lie. Like,
Yeah.
used to be friends with these people, like their shit. Can't pretend I don't like their shit now just because I don't like them. Like, I mean, that's just what it is. But like, some people just like suck, and like, maybe they recently suck, or maybe they sucked all along, but it wasn't obvious, and they revealed themselves to suck.
For sure.
It's gonna happen, man. Relationships are gonna fall apart. Like, we all like ride in vehicles with each other halfway across the country and like get sweaty and like deal with mental illnesses together and are on drugs together and like fucking being in cities that we're not from and or have never been to before together, like from different walks of life. We all find ourselves in different like scenarios and restaurants and like on different tapes, and like we just like live this weird lifestyle that's kind of like, you know, grounded but nomadic, you know. Like, the thing is, if you have beef or noise beef, it probably means something. It's probably not worth like writing off. It probably means there was an actual event that took place that like awarded it having, you know, scorned feelings and noise beef. But it's not noise beef. It's just people beef. It's human beef.
For sure.
We need to stop interjecting the word noise into it and making it less of what it really is.
Absolutely.
I'm heading to work. Good seeing you.
Good to see you, Aaron.
Have a good night, bud.
That's Aaron from Bullshit Market, y'all.
Hi, Aaron.
I'm on record.
He's on the record.
On the record. Yeah, man. Well, fucking A. So fuck noise.
Does that
beef.
even answer the question, or like, does that leave more to be desired?
I mean, you can say whatever you want on it, man. Keep rocking.
I think I said what I wanted on it. Like, at this point, I don't think I have active beef with anyone.
That's good.
You know, and
That's
if anyone
good.
has something, you know, adverse to say about it, you can come up and say something to me about it. But like, I feel like I've said a lot of shit about people, and like, we either fixed it or like we didn't. And if we didn't, well, I already said what I need to say. I'm not poking at you. There's some people that like still need to get it, honestly, like, but not many. And honestly, I can probably let a lot of that go. Like, if we're gonna be honest, like, you know, Yom Kippur, like, done coming past, like, we can be done. Like, I forgive everyone's past debts. If you ever owed me money, like, we're good. You know, if you did me wrong and then you avoided me, like, well, just keep avoiding me.
Yeah, I feel that. You know?
I've got nothing to say, really. Like, I got no one's name to call out.
I fuck with that, though. You know,
Until you violate fresh, and I'm just like, I have to hurt you.
yeah. Well, fuck.
I'm old, man. I don't want to hurt people no more.
No, I feel you.
I feel like we were all supposed to be getting old at the same pace, to where, like, people who would previously need to be hurted are now at the point where it's like, I'm not going to put myself in the position to where someone needs to regulate me. Like, we're all supposed to be getting old at the same time. Even people that were, like, fuck-ups and, like, shit tards and turd poops. Like, we all need to be doing better. I thought we were.
Yeah, get on that fucking track, y'all. Seriously. Fucking...
This can be a hostile fucking culture, man. But it can also be, like, the most supportive culture I've ever, like, come across in my life. And keep in mind, a lot of my perspective of what I'm talking about, like, have been talking about these last, like, full-blown ranting 15 or so minutes. Like, this is all implications of the past. I'm not talking about, like, today's state of things. And by today, I mean prior to 2020. Let's talk about 2019 and the years leading up to that. Like, I feel much more positive about those things than I do about these humble beginning years that me and Jay first became acquainted with one another during. It was different. Radius Recordings was different. Like, there was token lounge events. There was like weird little Ypsilanti events. Bubblegum Octopus played one of them.
Yeah.
We were all there. Like,
for sure.
I was chilling with Fat and Sad. Dana showed up.
Fat and
Remember
Sad.
that?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You came back to the RV where I was kind of like, quote unquote, living, and Caleb was there, and there might have been like something, something. You might have like passed an envelope of something to me, and then after you left, it changed the course of like the events that would happen later with after Dana left, Dana being my wife, who I would marry in the future. But at the time I was living in this one girl's RV, and she was not happy.
Right. Sorry.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah, no, but obviously it worked out for the best.
And I told her the whole time, like, dude, I'm a piece of shit. You shouldn't really be fucking with me. She's like, sorry.
This is Fat and Sad, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her name, right? Because we won't say her name.
No,
Like,
her name's Fat and Sad.
Yeah, that's it. And, like, that wasn't even my name for her. That's, like, a different person who, like, if you know me, you know this other person that used to roll with me, but I don't say his name anymore either. That's his name for this person, this lady.
Now, this person you're referring to, that's you and him rolled up to my house, and that's where we met the first time for a show.
My
in Traverse
main
City.
sidekick for a long time. The other guy in Swine Flu, the TSR project.
SDSA.
Yeah, the other guy in that project,
Yeah.
My main consorter, and that was not Caleb.
For sure. And it's a shame if people show their true colors and gotta ruin something good,
With this cat, it wasn't even about true colors, man. It's like, dog, I've been through, like, a lot of shit with that dude. Like, I can't say shit because him and I both know some things. Like, some bad things.
Bad things.
There's some things, and there's some things. So all the things that he did to my encampment that I would consider a violation beyond reprimandation, even that I can't call out due to the knowledge and the nature of our previous involvements in all the bad things.
Bad things.
So,
understood.
Let his name not be underlined. Let him not be mentioned.
For sure. In the past. Back to business. No.
What were we talking about? Noise beef versus like just people being held accountable for being shitty?
Yes. Well, we were talking about the unspoken former musical comrade of yours.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah. Anyway, so I met you guys. You came up to my house in northern Michigan for a show that I had booked for a bunch of us. It was a rap, rap punk noise at Radius Recordings.
We did like fucking 5 of our side projects. Like we had a whole bunch of projects and we just did them all that night.
Oh yeah.
Like,
and people dug it. People still talking about that.
Kind of went in between. Like we had it planned out on GarageBand and shit, but like also we've been driving for a long time
and drinking.
Underage. And drinking, very much underage. And also like just eating an assortment of pills that like we had pilfered. No man, life was weird back then. I didn't really have a place to stay, so it was like for me like traveling and going to a show it wasn't anywhere different. Like I was already not sure where I was laying my head. So the fact that we didn't really make a plan, like, but you were very hospitable when we came to sit. You fucking put us up and like, it's like, yeah, fucking crash. Here's a couch. Like, here's a whole bunch of some herbal medicine you may or may not have like told us that we could have for free when we showed up. That was pretty neat. Wasn't accustomed to that kind of treatment at that point in my performing career, you know.
Right.
I mean, I'd only done a fistful of shows prior to that, you know. We'd like done some shit at the Token Lounge. Our first rap performance as SDSA, and we had Spunky Smith with us.
Oh yeah, Spunky.
It was Nuking the Living Dead's retirement show.
No way.
It was their last show, and
That's sick.
the
man.
person who I don't associate with anymore, he got us booked on that gig.
That's
dude.
badass.
But like on the flyer, they like listed us under his solo rap name, and that's it. And then like under the description, they just wrote like parentheses like yeah and ellipses. Like they just like were not into like us. Like they were like, well, we're booked, but like why are they booked? You know.
Wow.
And then, like, I can't say that we changed our minds too much when we played the show, because, like, there was this Russian sound guy, and he was just, like, really hesitant about lending us his microphones. And I guess he was right to be. But here's the thing. So we had written all of our tracks in our high school, like, various AV classes that we shared together, the three of us, me, this person, and Spunky Smith. You know, who was not a part of SDSA, but he did a lot of music with us. He wrote his first rap songs with us. We got him rapping. We got him started rapping.
That's what's up.
He tells the story more than I do. But anyway, something had happened at the school to where all the songs and the beats that we had made on the various like Emacs and etc., all our shit got wiped.
Oh fuck.
So all the songs that we knew that we were gonna play, we didn't realize at the time you could just play your songs with vocals on them and like no one would care. That was gonna be the future eventually. No, we couldn't do that. So on the way to the venue, we borrowed another laptop from the school and we were trying to make new beats in the Trailblazer on the way to the venue and write new songs. And knowing a lot of it was gonna have to kind of be freestyled, and like including jacking like DJ samples, like turntable, like freestyle session instrumentals, like trying to jack that, and like trying to do like MC Lars covers and shit over like different beats, like and some beats that we had been gifted from other producers that we knew on like SoundClick and shit. Like we were really trying to scrap together a set, and it just like. You know, it wasn't pretty. My parents came to that show.
Fuck.
It was like the first show my parents ever came and saw me do. It was like 2007. And like, honestly, they didn't come and see me perform again until like probably 2014 in my garage at Casper's house, Spider House, you know.
Relatable. I think my mom's been to one show, my dad's been to one
as my
show.
parents were getting separated, they showed up together, and like my dad made an effort to like come in there and watch that show. But like at this show, like not only was my parents there, but like check this out. No one knows this. This is funny. So my family lawyer, Judge David Perrick. Well, one of them. The other one was Robert Coots, who would eventually become like, you know, some seat in the 34th District Court, you know, like he got elected, but he's been running for judge. This guy David Perrick, dude, he used to be like another position in the court, but he was also my family's lawyer. Obviously, it goes without saying that me as a kid, I had a lot of time spent within the legal system, you know, and
Okay.
some of it could have been worse for me. Some of it shouldn't have been as worse as it was, considering how many political connections I had with my family and like everyone. Like we were part of like we ran like the Southwestern Huron Valley Democratic Committee and shit like that, and like the CHIPS Association's various like political like union based like the Teamsters and shit like that.
Oh wow.
Teamsters, CHIPS, fucking Rotary, goddamn Huron Valley Conservation Association, like There's a lot of shit, dude. And, like, the amount of trouble that I would get after a while, it just seemed like I was getting targeted as a teenager, like, picked at. Like, getting arrested for smoking cigarettes on my way to, like, the church youth group type shit. Like, just walking, like, down the road with my girlfriend, like, at 15 years old, smoking cigarettes, and cops pulling me over. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I'm going to church.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell.
Yeah, that sounds like targeting, for sure.
And it's like, and, you know, my family is supposedly protected, like, but when my grandparents moved to Arizona, like, everything kind of changed, you know, and, like, that's when we start getting boycotted by these people. Like, we got politically boycotted, and, like, our business suffered, and, like, that's when all our shit started getting repoed, and our lives changed, you know. I went from, like, being, you know, the son of, like, business owners and shit, and learning a trade in the printing industry, and the racing industry. My dad was a race car driver and a motocross driver, by the way, and a trials bike champion, by the way. But, you know, just a lot of backwards things happened within the city of Belleville and, like, the greater Van Buren area and, like, the lower Huron area, and there's a lot of geopolitics involved, and, like, a lot of capitalistic politics involved, but, like, we lost a company business out of all that. I used to work for my high school's, like, school board, and, like, I used to get checks from my high school. I used to work for I used to be on the board of directors for the public library in Belleville when I was 14. I also, like, broke the window through a skateboard accident at, like, around 14, 15 at the library, and, like, stuck around when everyone else ran away and took the blame because I did it, but I could have run. And they wanted to call the cops on me, but they also knew I had history, and, like, I just worked it off with them and shit. And, like,
wow.
I remember, like, painting benches that I would watch get graffitied and gouged over time. I'm like, you motherfuckers. But I get it.
Yeah. Wow, man. Didn't realize that shit all these years knowing you.
Libraries also where I used to print all my album covers, dude.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
all of them. Like, I got really good at learning, like, their print, like, default settings. Like, if I want to do double-sided shit, I knew how I had to line it up in Paint. Like, the exact pixel range that would have to be. So if I flipped it, like, if it wasn't busy, I couldn't do it if, like, the whole computer bank was full. And motherfuckers just printing shit because someone, like, just print something random, would bump itself in the queue and, like, print on the back of, like, this art I'm trying to print. Like, god damn it. And, like, it's like, fuck it, I'll pull it aside and I'll, like, reprint over it again, like, make an offset variant. And, like, sorry, dude, I don't know what happened to your print. You're gonna have to print again, but don't do it for the next 5 minutes, you know? And, like, shit was different back then. Remember, like, just, like, always putting out splits with everyone?
Yeah. You want to do a split?
Just, like, any little ass project.
Dude, people don't even know what a split is half the time right now. Like, I'm just like,
friendships used to be different between little noise projects, like, because we had means of communication, like SoulSeek, MySpace, general email. Some cats was still fucking with LiveJournal and shit like that.
Some cats were writing letters.
Yeah, dude, a lot of it was mail trade, too.
Totally.
Like, a lot of the labels, like, Reality Impaired and shit like that, it's like, you only traded with them through the mail, and it's like, they only hit you up if they got one of your flyers through someone else in a different trade. And, like, that was the cool thing. It doesn't really seem to happen anymore. Just getting unsolicited trades.
Right.
From, like, some cat, like, some old motherfucker that, like, doesn't know what PayPal is. And, like, doesn't, like, have any kind of presence on anything. It's like, if they have a Discogs presence, it's just because, like, some random person that knows what Discogs is and is adamant about it got some of their shit. And it's like, oh, this came out in 94 and no one's ever heard of it. And this guy just still has copies he's sending out. And no one really, like, it's just under the radar.
Yeah, totally. That was part of the mystique and draw to it all when I first got into this shit and when I was first discovering your music and stuff. Like, and people were, like, hitting each other up online on MySpace and shit and, like, orchestrating these fucking trades. And, like, Patrick and I, you know, you and I went on to do tons of in real life trades. I would come down to Detroit for a show. We would
Whole
sit
boxes
like, of shit we're handing each other. There's photos of the shit even, you know, on the back of our cars, you know, like
we didn't fuck around though. We were always just churning out material.
Absolutely.
Like fucking if you put out a release of those, we were like as many CDs as we could burn in an hour or whatever. Like folding art all the time, stuffing poly sleeves. Like
fuck yeah.
If we didn't have stickers, we had stamps. I had a Trashfuck stamp. You had the Notorious Cat stamp. So we were just
absolutely
always, you
fucking
know,
fun,
fucking.
Man.
Oh, I found a stack of artwork I never cut out. I can run off a bunch of copies real quick right before the show that I'm going to.
Right before the show.
Right before.
At the show in the fucking parking lot.
Like,
literally, it's happened. Like
the blunt hanging out of your mouth, like trying to fold paper. Like, I don't have scissors. I'm just gonna like fold it all and tuck it all. Sorry. It's like
yeah, fucking just obscure packaging.
Yeah,
like
it's a variant. Fuck it.
Absolutely, and you know I still have everything that I've ever traded. If I've ever sold or traded any of it, I have 2 of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like
I went to Will's
cool.
place during Jen and Olga's wedding recently, and like I pilfered Will's collection, and like I found a whole bunch of like dealios like this.
Fuck yeah!
And like no, for real, dude. Like shit, I just ain't seen it in a minute. Like, look at this old Simply Wow shit.
Simply Wow.
Like, Old Faction Disaster. Like, a Nathan Finley CD. A Drew Batten CD. Like, fucking RedSK and Jackal. Like, the first, like, 0208 SK thing.
Fuck yeah.
Like, this metalcore band that I engineered and produced. And, like, from the farm I worked at. Like, my boss's sons and his friends and shit. Like, I recorded all these and mastered them.
Fuck yeah.
Like, it's the only metal thing. Yeah, I want a copy of this. I know you reissued it, and that, like, I want these. Like,
yeah,
I have them. These are all Will's. I stole these from Will. But, like, before that, I didn't have them, which is why I requested that you reissue them.
I will get you that, for sure.
And like, I keep mentioning all these things without mentioning their titles out loud, so everyone listening to the interviews like, what is them? What they're talking like, oh, look at this, look at these. Like, I can't see it.
That was RedSK Time Untraveling, which was on Placenta some years back on a CDR.
That's a trip, man.
Yeah,
Fuck.
like the CDR, and then, you know, like, obviously things got more into tapes and stuff, like, you know.
But that was, like, one of the first Placenta things, too. That was one of the first things you asked me to do. Like, there was Fuck Rodney King.
The infamous album, which we won't discuss any further.
Some of the beats are tight on that, but,
it's an album. It's an art piece.
That was a weird thing, like, that little painting and shit, like,
the
painting
MS
was
Paint.
kind of dope, dude. Like, well, it was like a real painting that was touched up with MS Paint, and like not for the better, and like not really MS Paint, but like paint. It was like Paint Shot Plus.
Okay.
Like, but it was set up very much like MS Paint, only you had more like brush options. You know, that was Malcolm giving his 2 cents on artistic integrity.
For
I think
sure.
Dana's home. But, yeah, I don't know. I'll say one more thing because I have to acknowledge Fuck Rodney King exists. Like, it was definitely, like, in the spirit of Boyd Rice, but not in the obvious kind of way. Like, it comes off as, like, probably incredibly racist and insensitive, and I guess that was the way it was supposed to come off, but that's not, like, the artist's overall intention or feelings on the matter. I don't know how you convey that, like, because, like, at that point you just start coming off like you sound like you're making excuses, or like you sound like Quentin Tarantino or something. Like, I had to do the N-word, and like, did you though? Like, you know, but like he stands by it, and it's like, good for you, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I've made a lot of missteps in music, and Fuck Rodney King wasn't one of them, because the track PCP is on there, and I would rap over that. That shit was tight. But the RedSK Boar thing, that was something I put out, and it was like one of the second or third times I came out to like see you in TC. And I had a whole bunch of extra copies of the artwork with me, and like a few burned copies. I was like, well, you know, source it from like, rip one of these CDs, but here's some of the CDs, and like here's some art. I'm like, I kind of fucking forced you to co-release that split with me.
Right,
it's just like you send out a lot of material to a lot of places. That's kind of like out.
Yeah, I'm good.
But yeah, put these in your packs and send these out also to a
Yeah.
lot of places, you know. But also I'm putting Placenta on it because like, appreciate it.
Fuck yeah, I appreciate
Up until
that
that
shit.
point, I was just like giving you stacks of like shit that like eventually was like, you should set fire to your remaining copies.
No, but I never did. And we have some of those still up on Discogs for like $8,000, $7,000 you will pay.
Like I feel like
So, go get
maybe
it.
not so much 2009 promo. Like that's all right, I guess.
That
but
was a
it's
good
like,
one.
I also don't fuck with Dude anymore, and it's like, I don't know. It was neat for the times, but I think it's outlived its purpose at this point, and we made a ridiculous amount of those. Like, too many, I would think. Bulgarian Negro demo, I'm like, that
I wasn't
really,
gonna bring it up.
that really doesn't need to exist anymore. Like, that was a concept piece that I recorded, like, when this girl I was dating, like, went to Germany, and, like, I just made this very cringe, like, kind of digital hardcore, like, terribly recorded computer mic, shrieky vocaled, fucking hammerhead, the rhythm station beat generated, like, just not good. It's just not good.
Oh,
Paper
man.
cases.
Paper cases.
Paper
Yep.
cases.
I still have a few of those actually. Probably like three.
Ooh-wee.
I've got like 3 copies of that.
What a weird period of time.
Fuck.
The things that like I would just figured would fly as music. Like, yeah, you know. No one's gonna listen to this.
But they did. Oh shit. So like,
Well, good for them, man. That was always like my conflicting thing within the noise industry. Like, fucking, all these people get copies of these things and they never listen to them.
a lot of people don't, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Lives in shoeboxes.
yeah, absolutely. But
It's like, you get this whole sense of, like, what's even the point? Like, this shit's as cryptic as it could be. Disappointing sometimes, because I sometimes do shit I'm really proud of. I'm like,
right.
are you gonna, like, hey, I gave you a copy of it. Like,
Can I get a review?
You fucking bought a copy. You, like, went through the process of, like, buying a copy and paying for shipping. Did you listen to it? I didn't hear you, like, say anything about it. Be like, oh, that's neat. Like, that was one thing I put, like, 820,000 samples into and, like,
Right.
meticulously cut half second by half second. Like, say something about it.
Right.
Did you notice that? Like,
For sure.
fucking hell.
Yeah, I
Took
know what
me
you...
130 hours to make that 5-minute tape. Can you say something about it?
I feel you. You know, I often wonder the same thing if, you know, Placenta stuff is just sitting on shelves somewhere with the movie collection or something, you know, or like whatever.
Look right here. It's sitting on shelves.
Right on.
Placenta. What is this? What is
Oh,
this?
fuck. That's the Insomnia is Dead.
Like, gee whiz.
Yeah.
Look at all these things. Like,
Patrick probably has the biggest Placenta collection of anybody in the
it's
world.
like caving in around me.
And I've probably got the biggest Trashfuck Records collection of anybody in the world. I'm gonna have to vouch for
As
that.
far as being like archival buddies, like in case I'm ever worried about shit getting lost, I'm like, okay, I know someone I can tap in with. Like, they might have a surviving copy of this.
I have hundreds and hundreds of your albums, both in physical and digital form, because, you know, when I first discovered Patrick's music, I was, like, obsessed, and I was downloading everything I could get. A ton of it was
There
on...
was so much already, even back then.
Even back then, in
Like,
2005
or 7 or whatever.
ish, maybe, yeah, somewhere in there, you know. But like, I was just like obsessing, and I was like, because I'd heard like some noise through Agoraphobic Nosebleed on the remix disc, and that was really like all I knew about. And then like
And it's like I was transitioning net labels too at the time. In addition to like non-quality audio, right leading into Trashfuck Net, there was like Piss Free Tapes,
Piss Free Tapes, sure.
Michigan, like. And it was just like these little outlets and like little collab labels I was doing with people, like nothing, and like trash tapes and like fucking stupid shit, like hella stupid shit, you know.
It wasn't stupid though. It was sick.
It all led into something that got funneled into something else that got funneled into something else. But like by the time I even like had Trashfuck Records going, there was already 800 other releases that were akin to TFR 001.
Right, yeah. No, it was crazy. It was crazy. Like, Patrick probably has... I would say Patrick has the biggest discography out of anybody. Like, fuck Mertzbo and his 300 albums or whatever it was.
He's got a few more than that.
Well, okay,
yeah,
okay.
Know,
well,
like,
still, like, Patrick's got thousands of fucking albums.
I'm not here to, like, compete against the almighty Mertzbo. Like, I get it. I know my place.
Nah, I feel you. I'm just saying, like, you're not
like Mertzbo is Mertzbo for a reason.
Yeah, Mertzbo's. You know, I'm not talking trash about Mertzbo. I'm just saying, like,
I acknowledge and I respect. If Mertzbo wanted to do a record with me off the strength of this interview, like, I'd be like, hey, let's do it.
Right. Like, but I'm just saying, like, as far as releases go, I think you've got a beat, and you need to be recognized for that. And
yeah, the thing is, like, I've spread myself thin as far as like any project goes that might compete with that number. That would be RedSK. Probably has like the most projects attached to it that was like singularly matched with Mertzbo's output. But I mean, I have like fucking, I don't know, call it, how many hundred projects do I have?
Multiple hundred. I'm not sure.
So I mean, all together combined, and I keep in mind, I also don't have a good, like, well documented archive of like all of my output and all the things I've done. Like, I lose track a lot. That ain't shit. That's not anything. That's just like what I've managed to like hold on to or keep track of or like track down.
He's pointing at a massive fucking wall of cassettes, releases.
There's a lot that isn't there.
You know, and that's not even talking about the digital catalog. That's not even talking about the CDR catalog of Trashfuck and all the
that's a different story
and all the related labels. There is so much content, and it's fucking all different. Like, it needs to be heard. Like, if you really
you can hear it.
Yeah,
though. I'm trying to, and if somebody tells me like, hey, I'm aware of this Trashfuck release, and I don't see it on your Bandcamp, like, tell me about it. Like, I might not be aware. I want it to be up there. I want everyone to have access to it, you know, even if I'm not distributing physical copies anymore. Like, you don't have to pay for it. It's already there. And now Bandcamp is developing this new streaming platform that's like kind of, you know, competing with Spotify and all that. And they're like, you can convert your Spotify playlist to Bandcamp playlists. It's like, really?
Right on.
You
Wow.
know, and like Bandcamp is like, oh yeah, we like pay our artists, and especially artists that like sell physical merch, and they accumulate a share that they owe to Bandcamp that's sometimes collected upon. It's like, if you start getting these Scream monies, we'll eliminate what you owe us. It's like, really? It's like, and if you eliminate it hard enough and you keep selling like physical merch, like, we'll give you like more money back off like downloads and streams, and
that's
like
awesome.
Fund your vinyl. And like, by the way, Bandcamp, if you're listening, you need to like approach Placenta Recordings and Trashfuck Records. Like, I don't know what the fuck this search embellishment, this fucking lack of like search love. What is this? Like, what is this? These Bandcamp dailies like not doing a thing? That's silly, man. Like, you know how many fucking records we put out? Like, goddamn. Like, a lot of your favorite artists, like, we fucking have smoked a lot of blunts with them and did their fucking tapes and shit. Like, you fucking kidding me? Like,
very true.
A lot of these dudes that pet like my cat or my dog, like,
For real.
Your
for real.
favorite rapper knows Malcolm. Malcolm's my dog. You heard him bark earlier in this interview. Good job.
Yeah. So I agree. Bandcamp, hit us up.
I love
Trashfuck.
Bandcamp.
So do I.
Best platform.
It is, but I'm saying we need to see
Show
our
some
names up
love.
in there. Come on, the Bandcamp dailies. Like, come on.
Long time loyal. You know, I got a pro Bandcamp account too. Like, I bought the pro thing.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
put me in the fucking search engine. I bought a pro Bandcamp. Like, you're not gonna put me in there because of the F word. There's other F words that pop up in the search engine. I don't get it.
It's art, baby.
It's not.
But anyway, we love you, Bandcamp.
Yeah, I love you, Bandcamp.
But and good for them for because Spotify, I looked it up. You get $3.18 every 1,000 streams. Anyway, we're wondering why artists are fucking broke and fucking
You know what
starving.
the
Like,
funniest thing
come on.
is? You know who actually pays the most?
Who?
Napster.
Napster. Fuck
Napster.
yeah. I remember Napster.
They pay at least 1 cent per stream and more, a little more, like 1 point something, and it's on the higher end of that point.
Okay.
Like Napster, like people that use Napster for streams, like Napster pays artists.
That's what's up. We all need to eat out here, guys. Like, seriously. So.
We're not playing shows.
Yeah, that too.
We're not selling a whole lot of merch.
For
We're
sure.
not touring. We're not fucking hardly doing things like this, interviews, in-person shit, collaborating.
Yeah, this is a fucking delicacy right
This
now.
is hard. Dude.
Seriously.
This is really hard. Like,
Yes.
I'm packing up like orders while I'm doing an interview, and like there's not that many orders to pack up, and it's like the post offices are frozen.
Fuck
There's
yeah,
like
take
shit
a
that's
clock.
out there. There's shit that I've like put out there, and it's like not where it needs to be. And there's stuff that
Absolutely,
isn't
same.
there yet. And I just got money tied up, and I know I'm not the only one feeling this way, but like, pardon me for being a little selfish about it. Like, shit fucking sucks. Not having fun.
Seriously. I miss Midwest Harsh Fest. Like, seriously. I'm so wishing...
We took a lot of shit for granted before. I'll go ahead and admit that. Like, fests and stuff. Like,
fuck yeah.
that's all a lot of us had,
We look forward to that shit. It's like our fucking family reunion type shit, and like...
But also at the same time, like, you think about it, without those things, like, this whole noise thing is kind of like going back into a remission. It's getting very similar to like when you and me stumbled our ignorant asses into the realm that we didn't know we were in. We didn't know one existed. Like,
yeah.
it's starting to become more or less like inaccessible, which is kind of how we found it. Maybe it needs to happen.
Yeah, there's like a lot of people. Like, I was gonna ask you, like, how do you feel about the,
Because it'll
the
take
sudden...
some years and then we'll rebuild it, I guess, or let the kids rebuild it,
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, what do you feel about the sudden popularity of noise, kind of, like, as opposed to when we were getting into it, like, people hated it and it was, nobody wanted to fucking touch it at all, and now there's, like, lots of people into it. Like, how do you feel about that?
Here's how I guess I'd have to view it. Like, a lot of these kids I like, a lot of it I'm just not really aware of, or, like, I've seen some stuff that I'm like, that's corny, and it's like, whatever, like, everyone finds their way eventually, but, like, I'm not a new jack, it's been like 2 decades of my life so far, just like being involved in like different concepts of what a noise scene is. And, like, what it is now is like, it's cool and all, but like, I'm an old fella in the scene, which, if you didn't know, kind of translates into sales. It's kind of neat. It never used to be that way for me. Like,
it'd be years with no sales.
Yeah, it was like, there wasn't even a concept of like imagining that people would buy our shit. Like, but we kept putting out shit, and that's just always been my philosophy, regardless of like the fact that now we get sales. Like, that's cool and all, but like, we're still gonna put out shit no matter what, even if we go through spells where we don't get sales. But like, it's nice to think that Trashfuck does get a considerable amount of support, and that wasn't the case. And I owe it a lot to the young kids and like these new kids getting into noise, and like, yeah, of course, like some old timers that are like have always been true about it, but you know, young money, I'll take that young money
For sure.
like yes, young kids like just getting into it. Buy Trashfuck tapes. It will make you look cool, way cooler than smoking cigarettes. Promise.
Way cooler.
Like, and smoking cigarettes will make you look cool. I'm not saying I smoke cigarettes. It makes me look hella cool. But buying Trashfuck tapes, buying some Placenta tapes, buying shout out No Rent, like buying their tapes, buying some Tribe tapes, like fucking buying Helicopter and Hospital tapes, you know, buy fucking Black Ring Rituals tapes, buying Cult Love tapes. Just look at my filing cabinet. Just like anyone on there that isn't overly covered up, like buy their fucking tapes. Like,
yeah, and as I always say over here, I love the fucking Nada sticker you have here.
I stole that off a fucking light post in downtown.
Oh yeah. Fucking shout out to Nada's Isham, Mastermind, TNT, RIP,
we were in
man.
Greektown actually, just walking through and like I saw it.
Fuck yeah, I would have too. I would have fucking ripped that bitch off.
Nobody needs that there. I need that here.
Absolutely. I love this. Is a nice collection of stickers you got. You got a couple different landfill stickers.
I mean, it's
what up, Will?
predominantly just it's homies. Like this whole thing is homies. It's a homie monument.
Fucking,
you know, every side of it that I can reach.
That's
I
what's
guess.
up.
And it's like it got a cool ass paint job before all that happened, and you know, it's just got layers. Like it had rust, and now I like hope it's weatherproof throughout all the
Michigan bullshit.
Michigan bullshit. A lot of cats don't know about it.
They don't know. Come enjoy a Michigan winter. Y'all come see what's up.
Oh, jeez.
Although,
make you hot chocolate.
Although it's been fucking crazy, like mild this year, but we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, you know we're in for it, man.
Yeah, it's
like,
still coming.
I've been feeling it coming for a minute. Like it's been weirdly like inconsequential for a minute.
Yeah, seriously. Like, well, what do you have planned for 2021? Like, for the label, for your projects, for your life, whatever, man.
So, Stu Bang is doing a tape with Apathy. That's supposed to be done around summer. So we're gonna do that one.
Stu Bangers, that's the fucking tight shit. Y'all need to check that out.
We have another Stu Bangers tape coming out too, the Beats and Blood tape. Like, there's a whole lot of cats on that. Self-titled's on that. Like, got a bunch of Richmond shit. We got Ant the Symbol. We got one of his tapes that we're about to drop. Like, that's been supposed to come for a while. I told him that was going to be out before like the year ended, and like it just hasn't been. Like, the doors are closed on tapes. Like, it's getting fucking hard to acquire blanks right now.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, and like that's a testament to like how long it took like put out the Johnny Siggs Profile 79 Cadillac Jean Jacket tapes, and like the Phase tapes that we just dropped.
Which
and
you
like,
hooked me up with both of those. I gotta listen to them. Fucking, I can't wait to hear that shit. Seriously.
They are fucking like undersung gems of hip hop gold.
One of them's got Cool Keith on the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Cool
and
Keith.
Like a whole bunch of C. Ray's Walls features and shit, and like fucking Aesop Rock made one of those beats and shit.
Aesop Rock, people.
Yeah, dude.
You hearing this? You know, this is Trashfuck Records. This is what Patrick does.
Like, I don't even know if I should say some of the shit. I won't write it down, so I guess I can say it. Like, I was wondering what happened to Phil. Like, this is a dude that, like, Phase, you know, fucking DPS, Detroit Paranormal Society.
Okay.
I met him through his homie Case, aka Christopher Marker. We all called him Marker. Rest in peace. You know, fucking. I went to Specs Hour with him. That's how I met him. We were part of a ride share program because we kind of like lived in similar areas when he was staying out at his grandma's. You know, like we just like did a bunch of downriver shit together, and like he was just like one of them. Like he was like a Sensei Wigger type. Like God to me. Like he was like several years older than me, but he had a lot of downriver and like D-Town and like rave and like Detroit techno and like, you know, fucking underground Def Jux like hip hop experience, and like knew the Cannibal Ox dudes and all them. Like they all knew like Modest Yahoo, and they knew like the High and Mighty and like the Eastern Conference All-Stars cats and like Cage and like fucking
Fuck yeah, Cage, Movies for the Blind.
like Copyright and shit, and like just a lot of these cats, and like I went on a lot of adventures with them doing bad people shit, like different bad people shit. These are different bad people I knew. I've talked a lot about all the bad people that like I fucked with, but like these people were on some like refined like Shakespeare Wigger shit, you know. Yeah, like
Downriver.
I don't know how else to say. Yeah, hella downriver styles. Like
Yeah, Downriver's a wild area of
it was cool, man.
Western
like,
Detroit
for
outskirts.
For a little like, you know, like 17 to 20-year-old Patrick, like that was a weird time of my life, man. Like, golly, that's before I lassoed Dana and made her a part of my from then on, you know. And it's like things were not cool. A lot of bad shit, a lot of traumatizing shit, you know. Like I remember smoking crack with like fucking Billy Bennigan's mom. You know, like, you know, like Billy Bennigan used to produce all the shit for like DPS and shit, and like he had a whole. I remember like looking at his hard drive, and he just had like 157 tracks that were like unreleased, and like a lot of them were like fucking people like Camu Tao before he died was fucking with a lot of his beats, and like he just couldn't get motivated to do it, and like. Me and like the person I mentioned before that we don't talk about anymore because I don't talk about him, you know, we would go over there and we would like get crack delivered, and we were smoking with this dude's mom and like fucking listen to nonfiction on vinyl. Like,
Oh wow.
It was fucking wild. Like
Wild times.
we watched a dog die while we were on like fucking like bootleg e-pills
Wow.
at the time, and like it was fucking scary, dude.
That's fucked up, man.
It was at that house, and like his stepdad came home. He was all wilding and shit, and like I remember like giving him crack and telling him to go downstairs and fuck off. And he like looked at me all fucked up, and but he took the crack and he left. It's like that, dude. Fucking leave, dude. I'm having a hard time watching a dog die. And then we like fucking fast forward a few hours. We had to drive Marker over to court and like stop by his grandma's house so he can get a suit but no tie, because they know you're guilty if you wear a tie, according to him.
Oh damn.
It was like he didn't come back, and like he finished a 40 in my car in the court parking lot, like while we were all like on this bootleg e-pills.
Damn.
And like fucking went in, we waited like 40 minutes and left, you know. Like I had to break into his grandma's house to get my hard drive back, because like he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I didn't hear from him for a while, and like he went through rehab programs and all that. He started dating a kindergarten teacher all these years later. It was like 4 years ago. He hit me back up, and he's like, hey, you know, fucking we should link back up, got my shit together, I'm clean, this, that, gonna be a dad. I'm like, cool, man. Like, yeah, we can do that. Fucking like relapsed, booted the pack, done. Like,
Damn.
done. Face put together his collection tape, his memoriam tape.
Damn.
But it's like now FaZe is in jail. Like that's what I was getting around to. I can't give Faze his copies. I know he has pre-orders that I don't know anything about. I can't fulfill. Sun Cycle 360 apparently was in on this deal, but like their Bandcamp is gone. C-Ray's Walls, I don't think he follows me back. I'm not sure, but he runs that label. I don't know what to do. Like his brother told me, like he's like serving like he's in his first month out of like a 6-month stint he's got doing county. And it's like, oh, well, what do I do? Like his tape's out. Like I'm just holding his copies.
I just hold them.
I guess, yeah.
Fuck it. You know, what are you gonna do?
But I'm thinking I'm just gonna do tape copies of Marker's tape too. Just like, I know he's dead, but it's like, y'all ain't doing shit with any of these tapes that y'all put out. Like, y'all are just always in jail all the time and like on bullshit. Like, you have material and like, you have material with cool people and nobody knows who you are. You just fuck it all away. Like, I'm just taking your tapes. I'm just taking them. You know what? Like, I know y'all. I'm just taking your fucking tapes and not making hard copies. Like, come say some shit if you want. Like, stay out of jail long enough to say some shit about it. Like, I'll fucking put money on your commissary. I don't know what else to do. But you're not putting out music.
Fuck yeah. Good for you, though. I mean,
fuck me, you know? Fucking ain't my music, you know?
No, but seriously, like, people don't put out shit and there's just gems out there. I've seen you
Or
release...
people bitch about, like, I've been making music for... It's like, yeah, how's the average asshole, like, find your fucking music? I don't know. That's a problem, dude.
Big time.
So that's where I come in. The average asshole will always be able to find your music.
Fuck yeah.
There'll be copies. It'll be on theinternet.com.
So, like, what is like your favorite format though of media to
It's cassettes,
release?
dude.
Cassettes.
Yeah, of course.
How long you been collecting cassettes?
I mean, right? Like, I guess I've never not. And I'm 31 years old.
Do you remember your first tape?
They're Elvis tapes.
Right on. You gotta start somewhere.
Definitely Elvis tapes and, like, Mooney Blues and, like...
Oh, yeah. My dad had Mooney Blues.
And, like, just shit I could get from the library, you know? Like, things like that. Just sampling. It was fun. But I mean, I don't know, I guess my first actual tapes were like Kid Rock tapes, you know, Metallica tapes, Little Romeo.
Right on. Fucking A. That's quite the array there. Seriously, that's what's
A
up.
Korn tape that I was lucky enough to get.
Hell
like
yeah.
a Deftones tape from an older cousin.
Hell
you know?
yeah.
Like, I don't have any of these tapes anymore either. Like, I had a Skinny Puppy tape. I don't have that. Like,
Fucking A.
Like, out of all these tapes, they're everywhere in here. Like, none of those tapes are here.
Damn, you gotta find those bitches.
Dr. Dre tape. Like, I have a different version of that Dr. Dre tape, but it's not like that tape.
Right.
Like,
No, I've been spending a lot.
all my childhood tapes are gone. That's the thing. Like, everything I had at one point in my life is gone. I've purged all my shit more than one time. Some of it on purpose, some not. You know, it's like everything I have is like probably kind of recent. And like maybe some of it is like something I've tried to rebuild based on memory. But things that are lost in the fire, I fear, are gone forever.
That's a bad feeling. I know, that's why I try to, archive and save as much shit as possible, whether my collection or not. But I've had shit come up. But I got a case of cassettes, about 30.
If anything happens, as long as I can like access it somehow, recover it somehow.
But I got like 30 tapes jacked out of my car when I was 16.
Right.
And fucking I'll never get them back. But I've been piecing it together, like certain albums, and I've gotten them like since then, but like I can't remember all the tapes, you know. So like when it pops into my head, one of those old tapes, I'm like,
Look,
oh,
you're not a
fuck yeah.
noise OG unless you spent time shopping on Discogs for your own releases that you don't have anymore.
For sure,
Like,
for sure.
That's part of the rules.
Yeah, if you haven't added the shit to your wish list when you're like, oh fuck, I need to get that. Like I don't have that.
God damn, some asshole in Norway has this fucking
totally.
thing.
Oh, it happens all the time. People be
God
selling our shit
damn
for a
it.
lot too. Like I'm like, damn, $50? Like
Chill, dude.
I could be getting $50 for that. Like fucking what? No.
No, you couldn't. Because
Exactly.
you're not you.
Exactly.
You're the one that needs it.
Exactly. Yeah, fucking. That's ridiculous.
Yup.
So like, tell me more about like the roster on Trashfuck Records, like currently, like who you're really fucking with, that you release, that you work with, that you're doing tapes for, albums, etc.
Dog, everyone, dude. Like, everyone that is fucking with me, dude. I mean, refine the question.
Well, like, what, like, okay, when somebody like some outsider at a record store or a show, if we ever have one again, asks you,
I'm always
who's on your label?
I'm gonna always recommend people check out Chris Crack, you know? Like,
Yeah, that shit's
if
dope.
you haven't by now, and I mean, the man puts out an album every 2 weeks, and they're like all 30-track albums. Like, don't sleep on the man. Like, if you don't know about Chris Crack, check out Chris Crack. If you don't know about Uncle John, check out Uncle John. If you don't know about Nick F., Nicholas F. properly, then you don't really fuck with Trashfuck as far as I'm concerned. If you don't know about like Richmond rap, you know, you don't know about Michael Millions, if you don't know about Name Brand, if you don't know about Johnny Siggs, if you don't know about Radio B, if you don't know about Noah O, you don't know about Fan Ran, if you don't know about Amp the Simple, you gotta know about these people. If you don't know about OZ, you should. If you don't know about Repaton, Ross Grilla, you should know these people. If you don't know Kambata, again, this is all just Richmond cats. Like, I hope I mentioned Fan Ran. I could mention him 3 or 4 fucking times. Like,
Oh yeah.
he's worth mentioning, and for the life of me, I feel like I am leaving someone out that it is completely wrong of me to do, and I hope Allah forgives me. If it comes to me mid thought later, I will splurt it out later. You know, I mean, that's
Like
not all the Richmond hip hop artists I can think of. I can think of, you know, Dr. Millionaire, just for the sake of like people that fuck with Noah's label. You know, Cadillac Cat, I'll throw his name out there. You know, yeah, dude, fucking Richmond, like, that's become a huge staple in just the Trashfuck catalog and like the shit that I fuck with regularly and who I want to keep promoting. You know, and realistically, I've only been there once in my life. Like, I connected with that place a lot, and I spiritually feel a part of it.
That's what's up.
There's a lot of Richmond, not just hip hop, but even like beyond that. There's some Richmond Noisecore that's on Trashfuck, and like Black Hand Path. Like, we put out a tape for them, and that's technically hip hop, but it's like a noise hip hop. And they're from Richmond, but like they don't really know any of the Richmond cats out there. Like, they don't fuck with any of them.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like weird, you know. Oh, Grime Lords. I forgot to mention them. Like, we put out their tape. That's Born Unique and like Pete Twist and like a whole bunch of cats. Like, Planet Asia's on that, which
Planet fucking Asia.
you know,
Oh yeah.
like, and like Planet Asia's on like the Stu Bangers shit that we put out too. Like, that's another funny thing about this. Like, being like in a position to where people I was listening to in high school is now just like, I'm dubbing their tape cassettes and cutting out their tape arts and folding the tape arts and
Fuck
stuffing them in tape cases and putting stickers on the tape cassettes. and putting the dubbed cassettes in these little tape cases and closing them up and putting them in the pile of the cassettes and putting them in the box and sending them to like www address at the person that I grew up listening to .zip code. So it's like, what a fucking weird life, dude.
It's a beautiful feeling, you know? Like, for real. I just got a call from Chris Pogue from Project Born. Told me he was throwing up the placenta rag at the ICP video shoot for Big Ballas. And I'm like, dude, this is people that fucking grew up listening to, obsessing over it. Like, now they're throwing up my fucking bandana at the fucking video shoot. Like, what? Like,
well, it's like people recognize our symbols, too. You know,
oh, yeah.
Like, I feel like enough people have seen it in passing, like, locally and beyond. The cool thing about us is, like, you know, we got local strength, but we're also, like, some beyond type cats, you know?
No, we fuck with people in, like, almost all countries. Both Patrick and I. That was something that was, like, instilled in us.
Plane. It wouldn't even be, like, right now. Like, if there wasn't all this going on, but, like, hopping on a plane anywhere, if money weren't an option, just, like, building a tour off the fly in any country, and, like, yeah, of course. Like, it'd be easy. It'd be fun, too.
Yeah, if we are able to travel again, you know, like, we need to fucking do a bunch of touring, because that's just one thing we took for granted every time we did it.
Yeah, I'm really bummed that I didn't do more when I had a chance.
Me too, like,
considering
seriously.
what happened. Like,
absolutely. Fucking... So...
Is this interview going to be allowed to fit on, like, your whole shit? Are we free to, like, just keep doing this interview, or, like, is it going to, like, violate the time standard that you're trying to do for your show?
No, I think, you know...
Because, like...
I mean, we can sit and talk forever. But
I'll just keep doing that shit.
Right on. I mean, we can keep going for now. All I know is I gotta be back around 6.
You're the boss, applesauce.
What time is it now?
4:48.
Right on. So yeah, we've got another 20 minutes for sure. Yeah. So like, so you're a member of Dental Work now.
Yeah, who'd have saw that coming like full time?
Full fucking time. So like that's the shit. Like, how did
That's been a lot of fun, to be honest. Like,
how's that affected you? Like,
it's like, you know, it's kind of like giving me license to play my weird flag more, you know? Like, it's giving me an excuse, I guess. It's giving me a scenario to where it was appropriate. Like, that's been cool, because, like, it's that sort of antic, that sort of character play isn't really... It's not conducive to most of what I usually do. I guess as far as, like, active projects go. You know, Bullshit Market is no longer in the realm of, like, shock and awe. We're more into, you know, Andrew WK party noisecore. I guess is what you would call it. I don't know. At the same time, like, I liked those days a lot. Power Electronics Bullshit Market, I guess you could call it problematic, at the very least, you know. Some of it you could call crimes.
True crimes.
Like, crimes.
Fuck.
I mean, how else do you describe something that is like, let's use affirming language here. Audience participation involved. Adult nudity. What's a good word for violence that doesn't implicate violence?
Yeah, no, it's hard
No,
to describe.
I mean, yeah.
I know what you mean.
But it got to the point where people are like demanding, like, expecting those antics from our performances, and that's when you saw another shift happen. And like that's the weird thing about the mutating thing about bullshit market is it's been a evolving thing, you know. There's a lot of different stages to it. There's a lot of different styles that have been covered, and I kind of feel like that's how everything should be.
So, who's the current lineup of Bullshit Market?
I don't know.
Hell yeah.
I mean, so baseline, it's me and Aaron, you know. But it's hard to like say depending on which project, because whereas Caleb did leave, he's never been too distant to where like sometimes his sound and his presence is on the next thing we're putting out. Additionally, vocalists Natty Watson and Dave Dyslexic, they've always been our various live vocalists, sometimes together, sometimes not, but like also they appear on a lot of different recordings. Recently, Matthew Reese from Developer has been one of our new mainstay vocalists, and also he arranged like the whole fucking the Reagan tape that we put out. We gave him a bunch of material, including a bunch of my pre-edits that I did, you know. But he applied his own vocals to him and his own editing, and he did not get carried away with the cut-up, which I thought he would, given his, like, he is developer, that's what he does. But, like, no, he is a man who knows what he's doing. And it's been really great having him a part of the project. As well as my friend Kalen Watson. He regularly stands in during Bullshit Market recording sessions and does either bass or noise, always vocals. He's been a great addition to a lot of our shit. In the past, Casper has been very involved in a lot of our recordings. Dana's been involved in a lot of our recordings. I don't really like mentioning that Cody was in our band, but for a long time, our lineup was me, Caleb, and Cody from Lieutenant Dan. And, you know, he was also in Farting Corpse for a good while as well with Aaron and Daryl. And, that's a good thing to mention. Like, Daryl is also a part of Bullshit Market interchangeably.
What up, Daryl?
He did Uncle Daryl. I love that man. Everyone should love that man.
For sure.
Yeah, he did the whole North Dakota tour with us. You know, it was me, Aaron, and Daryl, like, crammed in my little Focus with, like, a whole drum set and, like, a full stack and, like a whole bass head and, like, cab and, like, all that. And, like, it was crammed, you know? And we played that show in Fargo, North Dakota. And Boar and Cold, Eric and Dan, were there. And those three played our set with us. So we had 6 people up there. We called it Boar Shit Market.
Right on.
Or farting borps. You know?
Oh, yeah.
And because, you know, it was like the best of all the worlds, but like we did like the whole fucking half-hour set, and it's like, it was intense. We closed out the night, and Like, we just kind of showed up, and, like, people gave me poppers, and I was like, oh, I set up my bass and, like, my whole rig, and, like, fucking, I don't know, man, like, this is, like, after, like, fucking driving for, like, 17 hours straight, and, like, dragging Aaron's, like, drum set, and, like, all the cabs and shit out of my tiny ass car, and like Daryl, like, luckily took care of all his own shit. He has the Korg fucking the Chaos pad embedded in a guitar, and like that's his.
Oh fuck yeah, that's right.
Like that's Uncle Daryl for you.
Fuck yeah.
Like,
miss you, Daryl.
Yeah, we need to just like kidnap him, get him over here for a week, and just belt out the last Farting Corpse tape. The next few things, like, we have so many projects in the air we have not finished recording for, and that's kind of how it goes.
Fuck, man. So, like, tell me, so who are some of your favorite artists currently, though, that are out, like, or, like, just at all time? What are you listening to that's not on Trashfuck?
I mean, I'm always listening to, like, Cool Keith and, like, Mortician.
Love both of them.
You know, obviously I listen to a lot of the Griselda stuff, you know. I'm gonna say Uncle John again, because I listen to a ton of his shit, and, like, where he is putting out a little 3-track tape with me, but, like, to me that doesn't really count as far as, like, you know, how much of his discography I listen to. A lot of the cats I listen to, they've put out, like, maybe a project or two with me, but to me it's like people should still be listening to them, their greater catalog that, like, extends beyond our involvement, you know, like, these people are people to back. Like, I found them, I did the work for you, like, trust me. Like, when I tell you to listen to an artist, like, do it, you know, don't. And I know algorithms are not helpful to anyone on social media. Like, all that shit gets ignored.
Seriously.
Like, it's fucking.
Thanks, Facebook.
Like, what's the fucking point, you know?
Can we bring MySpace back?
I swear to God, dude. Like, I don't know what the solution is at this point, but I just know that I've been frustrated, you know? Like, I only really exist in the scene to, like, share music and to, like, expose people to shit. And, like, I make music also. I also do shit, you know? And I want you to listen to that shit. You might like it, you might not. I don't know. But, like, yeah, I hope ultimately I can quit my job and just do shit and, like, not just exist. I feel like, fuck, like, I put in so many goddamn 10,000s upon 10,000s of hours. Like, give me a living wage off this bitch.
Fuck yeah. I'm with you.
I got way more fucking tapes I want to put out. This ain't shit. All this shit, all these thousands of things we've done, I want to, like, up that, but, like, 10 times that amount. Like, before I get too old to, like, be doing this shit. Like, time is, like, one thing, money is another thing. Motivation, dude, like, that's a different thing entirely. You can't fucking buy that. I don't care how many unit sales I see, dude. Like, if you take, like, the spirit of this out of me, like, it's gonna be really hard for me to get in front of this setup, this computer, this tape dispenser, you know, like, shit needs to be magical, otherwise it's not worth doing. I don't think you can point at a single person who's actively involved in this that doesn't think the same thing. Like, this is magical. This is a weird little magical noise world we have here.
It is. It's like an alternate universe that most people are not even aware of, you know? Like,
it's hard to, like, like, even, like, fully comprehend. It's like, because a lot of people spend a lot of time at the stage of, like, just getting past the, like, blah 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 on purpose. It's like looking at it wrong if you're still looking at, like, on purpose, you know, like, absurdity isn't something you have to force. You know, you shouldn't have to. It's just something you should notice. And like, if you don't, then you're not ready to make these jokes. Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not saying you have to take psychedelics or have experiences to like understand that like normality is absurd, but like I think there's a certain recognition that a lot of people lack that you couldn't get, which is I think a common trait in people that enjoy these types of like mediums.
I hear you.
Is a certain acknowledgement of the absurd.
I think people should try psychedelics. Personally, I think
I'm not saying they shouldn't.
I know you're not. I'm just saying, like, as a side note, like, just a little interjection, like, it can really like open you to some things that you would just not get otherwise in your mind.
Look,
you know?
I will say a lot of things quite generally and outlandishly. I think everyone should do all the drugs.
Try them.
I'm not saying you should make a habit out of any one of them specifically or all of them in rotation even. But I feel like a lot of us, we need to put ourselves in safe situations to where we allow ourselves to like try stuff. We should all aspire to like have domiciles where we live, homes, you know, preferably with basements, because basements are lit even if they're cramped.
True.
If you want, you should want to try drugs, but you should want to try them in safe, in like comfortable situations, not in social situations, not in crowded situations, not in unfamiliar situations. Don't taint your opinion of drugs just because you did them wrong.
For sure.
I've seen a lot of people do drugs wrong. That's what I'll say as a person who's become old, who still lives life on my third childhood. I didn't get much of a childhood when I was supposed to, so like now that I'm really in control of my shit, I'm having childhood because I feel like it.
I'm with you. I'm in the same fucking boat, man. Same exact boat. I can feel that so heavy, man.
Hell,
Seriously.
Thank you for appreciating that sentiment.
Absolutely.
Dude. This is my childhood just because I want to. And I can. I got money. I got, like, cool stuff I'm doing. Like, I achieved things. Like, I'm in control of what I'm doing right now. All those things that I felt when I was a child, where I was like, I can't wait till I'm grown up because I can't do blah, 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 blah. It's like, what happened once I got grown up? Would I impress that kid? Like, did you go do it? It's like, oh, fuck yeah, I eat ice cream in bed. Fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I dubbed 16 tapes today and ate Snickers ice cream on the couch watching an Adult Swim marathon. Like,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Oh, I feel you, man. You gotta enjoy your life. You only got so much time, you know? I mean, you gotta fucking do the things that make you happy, things that make you feel good.
I don't have a Ferrari, but I got like 2 government alpha tapes in the mail from 2 different countries. That's kind of sick.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. No, I feel you. That's why I was telling my lady, like, I'm just like, you know, Patrick's the kind of dude who I can have a conversation about music with, and he knows what the fuck I'm talking about. He knows more than what I'm talking about on shit. You know, like, and that's
Not always though, dude.
Well, no,
honestly, you're my horrorcore like go-to guy, and like a lot of the like the spooky Michigan old school underground shit. Like, you're on lock with that. You're kind of a historian when it comes to that shit, and the fact that you even reach out to a lot of these cats and like, let me reissue your shit, and some are like, yeah, all right, but like even besides that, you find like the shit on YouTube, and you're like, this shit is from like a suburb of Flint from like 96, and I bought this tape at a gas station when I was like in Wixom one time, and like, oh shit, like, this is called like the Dr. Duckins and the Schooly Free Squad clan, like clan of Limox, like fucking, oh, alright.
You're right though.
And it's
I'm
like,
obsessed.
there's a lot of shit like that that's just like like spooky drum machine, like Flint adjacent rap from the early 90s. Like,
Fuck yeah.
it's like very Memphis-like too,
It
and
kinda
like the
is.
obscurity of like that whole scene.
For sure, all that Flint, Saginaw rap, like, I love that shit.
But I like that you reach out to them cats, and like obviously their shit is rare. It's hard to find. It's hard for like even like with YouTube and shit. Like not all that shit's out there.
Right.
But like, if you can find any of their emails, and a lot of them are probably like dads by now that don't care about that shit anymore.
Yeah,
Like they
for
moved
sure.
on and shit. It's like, can I put out your 1992 tape on tapes? And they're like, I guess. Like,
For sure. And a couple of them, though, have been like, hell no. Like,
yeah,
like,
and some of it's like, don't.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't. Word. Like, if someone approached me about SDSA, that would be my response. Like, don't. Alright? Just
Shit. Oh, man, fuck that. You guys.
leave it alone.
SDSA fucking killed it at Wadaboo's birthday, though, I gotta say.
Yeah, man, that was different, dog. I was wearing a poncho. Are you kidding me? Like,
You were wearing a poncho, and the person we don't speak of currently or anymore was wearing a fucking bathrobe. Like, you have type shit. Like,
it was
sick, man. And
I
like,
don't know, man. Like, things are different back then.
Wadaboo's parents came downstairs and were like, somebody's smoking marijuana.
No, it's like nobody's smoking marijuana. We just have it. You have it. Alleged.
Sorry, Rebecca.
You know, we live in Michigan. It's now legal.
True.
But I mean, yeah. Alright, so the thing is, nobody was smoking marijuana in Wadaboo's parents' basement.
Nobody.
This thing is not responding. But I got it.
The Dead Planet Chronicles. What the fuck
This
is
is
it?
a trip hop album I produced with this French dude that used to produce for SDSA. But
Oh,
me and
okay.
him put out our own fucking thing under OZSK.
Okay.
And, yeah, it's all just like stuff I did on acoustic guitars and shit, and like all kinds of other shit. And he chopped them up into beats. I'm just using it as stuff to distract me. Anyway, fucking, I don't know. Remember the unfortunate time of just like net labels being like our main distribution?
Yeah, totally. Just putting shit on
Whole bunch
archive.org.
of fucking projects that just, where'd they go? Like when the net label, a lot of net labels crashed. There was a lot of server sources like MediaFire, SendSpace, like Mega Upload, like a Zip Share, like a whole bunch of shit like that. Or just people that stopped caring. You know, or like a lot of people have their own .coms, and like that's where their storage space was. A lot of the shit was pre-Bandcamp even. You know?
Oh yeah, for sure. Bandcamp was not
That's
even thought of.
revolutionary, man.
Yeah.
Like, you made all your shit converted to one file format and metadata. Like, that was nice.
Fuck yeah.
And you were able to monetize it easily. People bitch about that shit with the revenue share. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Thanks, Bandcamp Part 2 shout out.
For
Like,
sure, we love you, Bandcamp.
we're sponsoring Bandcamp. Fucking, goddamn it, write a daily about us, you know.
True.
No, Bandcamp's sick though.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and those
Things used to be way harder than they are now.
way harder.
Like,
We used to be going to the fucking, Staples and Office Max and type shit to print off shit, like folding it at the show.
or public library.
Right, yeah, Patrick at the library, fucking what?
Buying little shitty printers and shit, and like running out ink cartridges, like little leaky ass inkjet fucking print jobs, and like going through a variety of different like stocks, and like trying to figure out the best way of doing shit.
For sure.
Fucking sizing out your own templates in MS Paint, like doing test runs, like, well, that does not fit.
For sure.
And like, fuck it, I printed 50 of them. I'm gonna fold them all fucked up. Like,
Oh yeah. I love some of those print fold jobs. I've still got so many of them. I remember
it's pretty much just a poster with a CD inside of it.
I remember one was like a stapled together Memorex type like sleeve, stapled on both sides with a cassette inside of it. That was something that you did. Like,
yeah, that was some asshole shit.
I
But
still
to
have
be
that
fair,
shit.
I've seen it done before also.
Okay,
Oh, you're talking about the Brutality tape.
right on.
Like the blue cardstock
Yeah.
thing that was like taped together and like the print was like wearing off because like the material was not absorbent and was not meant to be printed on.
Fucking A.
And like there was like bad stuff printed on the inside and like fucking MC Neil's girlfriend in a bikini was printed on that artwork and like it was just a dig. Like we used to dig at that dude a lot.
I love shit like that, though.
Man, that shit was bad. A lot of dark times back then. Fucking A.
I love it.
I feel apologetic about some of that stuff.
Some, maybe.
Some.
For sure. Oh, man. So how'd the fucking pandemic fuck with you, man?
Spiritual, I guess. Like, at first, you know, we were all reacting way harsher than we are now. I guess we've relaxed a little bit. We don't sanitize from head to toe every day when we come in, you know. Because we still have to interact every day, and we've been doing this, the proper precautions that you're supposed to do, you know. Unlike a lot of people that seem to think that it's a problem to do the most basic of fucking... It's not hard to be considerate and to be safe. You don't have to get offended at the notion of that, like, yes, you should wear a fucking mask. You should have always been washing your hands in the first place. Why is that a violation of your freedom? Like,
For sure.
like, dude, if you're gonna come into my store and do business with me, please, like, I don't know you. I don't know where you've been. Alright? I didn't make these rules, but I'm glad they exist. But it's not my responsibility to be glad they exist or not. Like, they exist. Alright? Like, be cool. Work with me. You don't want the economy to collapse. You want to have your conveniences, you know? The trade-off is that, like, give me some distance and wear a fucking mask.
Right.
Don't be offended if I use some fucking hand sanitizer in front of you. It's not an insult. Just like,
For sure. People need to wake up.
if you're standing over my shoulder and I'm like, step the fuck away from you, like, it's because you stood over my fucking shoulder.
For sure.
I don't know, dude. Like, I've seen people just act really shitty since pandemic thing started. Like, I've seen True Colors show. Like, it's not been so bad on the introverts. I see that, you know, spend more extended time inside and, like, have very limited human contact, you know, other than who I'm, like, shacked up with in the first place. But, like, I've seen a lot of people just, like, start needless beef, like, resentment.
For
Like,
sure. I
shout
am too. Like,
shout
chill
out
out,
last
people.
year. Shout out last year the people that, like, tried, like, coming for it with me and us. A lot of it was coming out of Ohio, which then went to the West Coast. If I say Fat Cody, like, no one knows who that is. Like, that doesn't give away any of his project names. Like, you'd have to know people and so you know who I'm talking about. But, like, that's who it was coming from. Like, and, like, yeah, a lot of people jumped on his back real quick. Like, oh, yeah, fuck Aaron and Patrick. And then, like, really quick overnight, it was like, oh, Fat Cody's a piece of shit and a liar, and, like, here's all his dirt. And everyone that was so quick to say fuck Aaron and Patrick now looks like a really fucking dumb, stupid, fucking dumbass, huh, bud? But I ain't forget, like, shit. I'm glad shit like that happens, you know? like, I needed to, like, clear the garden out, so to speak, you know? I ain't got no ill feelings towards nobody. I just, like, want to know who it's worthwhile to spend my time on and with.
For sure.
You know, my fucking effort is not something I take lightly. I don't want to fucking waste it on people that are going to be shitty later in my future.
Absolutely.
I'm fucking good on it, dude. I've done enough projects by now. I've done enough. I've, like, met enough people. Like, at this point, we're all old enough to where, like, I shouldn't have to worry about people being weird. And, like, maybe people suddenly one day not being my friend anymore. I don't want to account for that anymore. I'm good.
For sure. No, it happens way too often.
Why is that even something I should be having to consider?
For real. People be genuine. Stay true to your homies. For real.
It happened a lot more when I was a teenager. It's like I don't really fuck with a lot of people I used to coming up. But there were still cool adventures I feel like I need to have, because, like, I haven't had those kind of adventures and, like, since then. Like, every step I've taken throughout this, like, weird noise journey, discovery, and, like, the punk and the grindcore things that are adjacent to it, and, like, the hip-hop things that tied into all the dusty basements and, like, weird, like, fucking places that we've been, like, everywhere, you know, and
For sure.
just all the various different acts that we've, like, shared spots with. It's like, you can't recreate the things that happened back then. It was way different. And there was no one around documenting it at the time. It's like, it's a Vice special that's just lost.
For sure.
It's gone. Like,
For sure. Well, you know, you and I documented a lot of it, actually. It's just
clips and pieces. But, like, you know, not the overall concept of it. Like, and not to say, like, I think we always tried to. Like, you and I were always recording, getting called scumbags for it, you know? But, like, Naomi Elizabeth. She called me and who we don't talk about a scumbag. Recording her set. It was like, I didn't mean to be, like, we didn't really do shit with it, really.
Well,
like,
she's only getting 173 likes a post on Instagram now, so...
I know, I'm contributing.
Me too.
So, long live Naomi Elizabeth.
Yeah, sorry, Naomi. I'm sorry my roommate tried to whoop your fucking ass,
man,
too.
that was scary.
Real sorry about that.
I've never seen anyone, like, sincerely, no joke in her eyes. She was sincerely threatening Naomi Elizabeth with a bus. Like, girl, first off, where are you gonna get a bus? She wasn't concerned about that. So, oh my gosh.
What up, Olivia? You still out there, girl?
Don't say hi.
Damn.
That was funny.
That was crazy. And we were like hiding.
And the Two Dead Sluts fellas.
Yeah, hiding the whiskey bottle from Shane Broderick from Two Dead Sluts One Good Fuck.
Went to knock on the door and, like, them two were in the room with Naomi. He's like, oh, there's two of us and a lady in here. Are you sure you want to enter? And it's like, I know. Shut up.
Oh shit! That reminds me about the Cocky SP show, like, way back at Basement 414 when we went to the hotel with them afterwards.
Keep it rolling. I'm gonna do something secret that involves my plan.
Okay. Secrets. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go on and fucking. I booked Cocky SP to play Basement 414, and they came out from Minneapolis, and we got on the psychedelic tip and fucking played our sets, dental work, Patrick, you know, like, fucking Morgan was there. What up, Morgie? But, yeah, like, they did their set. I just remember people being on the floor, And then we went to the fucking hotel afterwards, which was like a Super 8 or something like that, in Lansing, Michigan. Yeah, so good fucking times there. Yeah, Patrick's got a fucking Slayer tape over here. Like, I need a Slayer tape in my life. He's got the dog sticker. Bells Inspired Brewing. Fucking goddamn. Trashfuck, Landfill, Placenta.
Jesus fucking Christ. What are we talking about? Lansing?
Lansing. Fucking Lansing. Well, you know, we were at the hotel getting psychedelic.
Oh, we're already, like, past the show.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so a show happened, and whatever. Aaron was there. Young Aaron. Little Aaron with dreadlocks.
Oh,
was there.
dreadlock.
Like 17, 18-year-old Aaron was there. I was there. I was like 20 years old. Fat and Sad drove me. And like I made her disappear after a while because she got offended by the show. And I was there with my pint of whiskey, and the communists there were like, "You're not allowed to have whiskey because we don't have a liquor license." And I'm like, you know, and stole a hat, blah blah blah, fucking dated a bunch of crazy shit, cereal, all that. We were kind of involved with it. Then we did an all-star everyone, cocky ESP included type shit afterwards. That was wild. That was crazy wild. Hotel afterwards was acid.
Yeah.
Acid. Thank you, Jay. Allegedly.
For the reminder, of course, yeah.
I may have, like, anyways, so there's me there in the hotel room with Jay. I think, like, at one point he had given me his laptop, and I was using his DJ programs to do, like, I Hate God mixed up with Ill Bill. Putting it together now. Paige Flash, Emil, Jason Wade were there. There weren't that many beers. Paige asked me if I wanted a beer, and I was like, yeah, I guess I could split it with you. And she like made fun of me, like, oh, you can't drink a whole beer, as if I couldn't drink a whole beer. I guess she didn't know what an alcoholic I was. But I was already like a lot of whiskey deep at that point, so like I took the beer, and like she ended up with the beer somehow. At around this point, I started remembering, becoming obvious to me that like, oh yes, you did in fact take acid. And then things were like, more pronounced, I guess you could say. They were more pronounced. Situations that were happening were like, hey, no, they're not happening. They're like happening. And like, Paige Flash tried putting her hand in my butt.
Oh, Paige.
And at first I wasn't sure exactly if that was what was happening. Until I was very sure that that's indeed what was happening very quickly. Sat painting a picture. Anyways, I did my part to like move past those happenings, but I can't sit here and say there wasn't a part of it that partially happened. I drank my beer. I remember she paid a lot of attention to me, and I really fucked up.
True.
I fucked up.
True.
She
Reverend Mother
suplexed me
Flash.
that night. We did like wrestling moves on like the hotel beds and shit. Like, I fucked up.
Fuck, wasn't William Sides there from Chicago? Or am I tripping?
Oh.
Maybe not.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh.
William Sides,
No.
I missed you.
No.
Either way.
Yo, fun fact, he showed up, this thing, me and that dude we don't name, fucking, I went to Kenosha, and we played Jason Cavelli's Pink Room at William Sides, and Drill Scare, like his project. They showed up and they played Pink Room with us and shit, and like that was an experience. Like that was, I don't know, maybe fucking what is time anymore? I want to call it like 2012 or 2011, but I don't know. Like,
yeah, Drill Scare, they were around probably like 2011, 2012.
That was like on their way out too.
Right on.
Like, or maybe they're active and I have no idea.
I don't
like
think so.
I've got other Billy Sides things around here. I've got like the Kremlin. I've got a VHS around here.
Oh yeah, I got the Kremlin VHS too. Oh
that
yeah,
shit's fucking dope, dude.
yeah, I love Billy Sides. He really took me under his wing out in Chicago. I used to go stay at his house all the time. Like,
I want to really quick praise people that are like doing noise VHSs again.
Fuck
like,
yeah.
And definitely Brandon Wald.
Yeah.
Like is the man to constantly say shit about fucking 8-tracks Betamaxes. Like people bringing back mini discs, like not 3-inch CDRs. I'm talking mini discs.
Word.
Like with like they're like floppy discs with the CD inside of it. It's like that's a mini disc.
Hell yeah.
Fucking. When are we gonna get to the point where we acknowledge that we need to get back to DAT tapes? Right? I mean, that was the standard for a while. Like, if it was good enough for masters in the 90s, that's what a lot of the masters are still based on. Shouldn't we... Jay, go in on it with me. Laser printer, we will design our own DAT tape shell. Void of any patents that already exists out there. We'll put like the right notches or grooves in it or whatever so that it's our own design creation. Mass produce them. Collect tape. Cut them to our own precision. Reels. It ain't that hard. Like restart the DAT movement.
Man, that would be insane.
They have such clear audio fidelity.
I bet.
And mix and master ability. Like... It was a supreme format. It's gone. You want to pause for a smoke? Yeah. Who else does that? Is that common?
It is not common. I think that Trashfuck Records and Placenta Recordings are the only labels in the world that put out those kinds of genres together. Rap, noise, fucking...
In tiny little ways I've seen it catch on amongst, like, the children. The people that I know watch us, which I love it. I'm really happy to see it. I want to hear rap groups from your areas. Tulsa, North Dakota, North Carolina, like Kentucky. All you people, like New Jersey, like all you people who run like little noise labels and like all these other areas of the country. You come out to Harshfest. You come out to Metal Spaghetti. You have your own noise labels. You have your own noise projects. You buy tapes from us. You buy tapes from like the rappers that we put out. Like you clearly like rap. You like Scumbag Fred. You know, you like shit like that. In your city, you know about local rappers that we don't.
Totally.
You run noise labels, you make tapes. Approach these black people that you're scared of. Get over that.
For sure.
Start putting local rappers on your noise labels.
Or send them to us if you don't want to.
Man, I mean, I appreciate that. I've got a lot on my list, as always. I mean,
I just want to listen to regional shit.
I would not say no, though. That's the thing. I would put it on my list and be like, well, you're going to be waiting. Like,
for sure.
I can't say no to shit like that. But, like, y'all got the power. Like, you can dub tapes. Rappers live in your city. I don't know who they are. Put out their tapes. Put out that tape and then put a harsh noise tape out right after it. Same batch. Like, I'll buy both. God bless you. May Allah keep you. Like,
fuck yeah. And that's one thing I think that both of our labels have been successful from is the diversity. Because, like, when I was coming up, it was like you were either an all rap label or an all techno label or an all metal label or an all punk label or whatever the fuck it was.
yeah, but it's like, how far can you go doing that?
Exactly. So it's like there's too many good things. You know, that's why I applaud Trashfuck Records. And
the thing is, here's the
and
one
you're an inspiration
sincere
to me
thing
at
I've
Placenta Recording.
Oh, I appreciate that, dog. But like, the one thing I've noticed about a lot of us is like we start labels to put out our own projects and our friends' projects. So maybe in the beginning there's a common ground where we all are people who make experimental electronic music, or we're all like various shades of garage punk bands, or like whatever your thing is, whoever your friend group is, like all your friends' bands. But eventually, all you are gonna like do a side project. You're gonna do something else. You're gonna meet other people in life. You're all gonna do different bands. You're gonna do different things. Like, we lose the defining nature of like, is this genre oriented, or is it like would you think that we have built a culture like between Placenta and Trashfuck alone? But I mean, yes, we touch a lot of other things and things that other people have cultivated. You know, we have our obvious ties and friendships with a lot of other entities. Do you think this is its own culture that is kind of like representative of itself outside of like what came before us, like in the Michigan like 90s noise, like the Wolf Eyes and all their various connections, like before they all went off and did all those other things? Like, this is like some post thing, like mid 2000s were a bad time in Michigan to be coming up like an experimental and underground music, like especially like weird music or like challenging music.
It was hard.
Absurdist music, formless music, you know. But the fact that like we carried this as if like it wasn't a weird thing to be doing. We didn't act like we were doing anything weird. Like, you and I were like inviting like rappers and like psych rock groups out and like other performers like to play these shows with us, and like this mixed meat. You were always on that. Like, that's one thing I respected about you. When I first came out to Traverse City, is like, you booked shows the same fucking way I did. You had noise, you had grindcore, you had Artful Dodgers, like, you had like hip hop, like, and you had like power electronics, and like even like bringing us out like accidentally, like you didn't. Maybe you knew we were gonna do rap songs. I don't know, but
Actually,
like
no, but
fucking like you were doing things on the other side of the state that were paralleling the way I did a lot of things, like, but just within at the time the means I had access to, which weren't a lot. Like, where I'm at now, like, fucking, I rule my universe. Like, I'm doing well. I've like pretty much accomplished my dreams. I've worked with all my heroes and everyone I ever wanted to. Like, anything I'm doing at this point is extra. Like, my band is like, all my bands, I've gotten what I've wanted out of them. You know, I don't need to do anything more, but I always will. I can't wait to be an old guy doing weird shit.
Fuck yeah.
I want that aesthetic. That's gotta be a cool thing, right? I hope there's
Absolutely.
an uptick of like fucking just elderly people like into harsh noise. Like,
There will be, though.
It's gonna be funny, dude.
It's gonna
Like,
happen, man.
I'm really hoping for it. Like, culture will be different by then. Like, can you imagine, like, after everything we've been through, 2020 alone, like, the extreme separation of politics and societal, like, people having the ability to even get along with each other anymore based off of a disagreement of opinions. Like, it ain't that. It's like ideological differences have like become now so profound to where it's like, if we don't agree fundamentally, you want the erasure of my existence. And we have to acknowledge that now, because that's now where the conversation is. Like, fast forward 25 years from where we're at now, and as extreme and dramatic as that is, like, are we even going to be able to have DIY labels anymore? Will the idea of, like, can we admit DIY labels kind of exist off a loose philosophy kind of related to socialism? Like, we all kind of give and not expect a lot back for the greater common good of, like, the purpose of running a DIY label. Like, it'd be nice if I could make money off it, but I didn't start doing it to get rich. I started doing it for the culture.
Out of necessity.
That's if someone's gonna. I've seen enough people involved in the culture where I'm like, I would have done that better. It's like, oh, I can, because I run a DIY label that's under my control, and I can't even say. I got to give a quick shout out to Aaron, John, Kaylin, who's become a recent big part of like managing the label with me. Dominic, who runs Sweetbriar, but also has been like a day one A1 like Trashfuck like management staff. If I didn't say Caleb and Kaylin are not the same people.
Oh, I
should
know.
make that aware in case people think I'm misspeaking. But then there's people like Dana and Casper who have helped with like errands and various like labor intensive projects. Like back in the day when like Cody Lobestale, the project Kern, he did a techno project for what was that called? But he has a project with Anthony Mortimer. Fucking God, Velt. That's what his techno project was. He got with Blow, and she decided that like me and Aaron were blocked and not a part of their lives anymore. And I lost my friend when that happened. I can't contact him anymore. But way back in the day, like when we used to take him on the road with us, he also was a managerial part of Trashfuck. Trashfuck's had a lot of hands in the pot. It's bigger than me, and I hope it remains bigger than me. I hope, like, I could suddenly die. I hope I don't. I don't think I will. Like, I've had a lot of chances to, and I haven't.
Yeah.
But should it happen, I'd like it to outlive me by a lot. I think that we've done a lot to put everything in place to ensure that happens.
Oh man, hey, we would all be on it, man. We're gonna keep this shit alive, and I hope that you'll do the same for me, man. In Placenta, if I happen to perish
Low-key,
unexpectedly.
There's a lot of other little labels that I've been like kind of working out deals with them where I'm like, let me acquire your catalog. Like, let me just absorb your catalog. Your dead label, your defunct label, your like old dried up label. You just come in, swarm it. I'll create a whole new catalog number. That's the fun thing about my label and the mysterious, obscure thing about it. Like, there's so many different catalog number variations. So it's like, oh, this one is like 597, and this one's like some weird letters 16. And they came out at the same time. I was like,
I know, I've always been curious about all that,
I have no idea how many releases there are, just thousands. We're gonna
we are running
make
out.
a point. Like, what's the point we're trying to make, I guess? Like, what's this interview need to do? Is this gonna be a radio show interview? Can it be?
Yeah.
All right.
That's the whole plan. Well, I gotta go give my cat a shot, sadly, because he is diabetic. But it was a pleasure talking with you about this shit. Like, this was amazing. Like, I loved talking about all these old memories that we fucking have and hearing about, like, you start and, like, everything, man. Like,
People don't know, dude.
ooh, thank you. And, like, thank you very much. We need people to hear what Trashfuck Records is doing. They are a staple in not only Michigan, not only in the Midwest, not only the U.S., but the world. Trashfuck Records has put out more diverse albums than anybody that I can think of. Patrick, I'd like you to let people know where they can find Trashfuck, like, currently.
I mean, I try to keep it simple. Here's the thing. I really appreciate the recognition, but I'm also, like, a guy that likes sitting back, and I'm really bad at responding to, like, social media and, like, messages and shit. I don't check everything very often. We put out a lot of tapes that, like, we just take a long time to even, like, take pictures of and post and, like, update, and I don't know. We kind of, like, operate a lot in secrecy. I wish I had the staff power to like just take care of all the publicity parts of what we do. But if you're curious and keeping up with us, announcements or not, the usual latest updates are at trashfuckrecords.bandcamp.com. As far as social media, which there's not a whole lot of regular posts or anything like that, but our main social media outlet would be Instagram at Trashfuck Records. Yeah, I mean, I guess we have like active stories. Most of our posts are just related to like what came out. We typically only post things one time, and you know, that's it, and just kind of like mention it here and there. But we rely a lot on word of mouth and just like people's own dedication in deciding what they think Trashfuck Records is worth. It pretty much only exists as long as people think it should. My effort be damned. So that's pretty much where we're at with all this. I appreciate everyone who has continually like followed what we do and given their support and sent their fucking money, which is the biggest part of it, and like bought our shit and been really interested in like the weird crypto shit we've done and the weird puzzles we've done with like our greater universe we've been creating. It's been really fun. I'm glad to share like a lot of interjecting realities in one spot, I guess. If the nuclear bomb comes and like you know, power grids fail, hard drives are toast, like everything just gets destroyed. Like, I hope that some part of what we've done has served as a time capsule to preserve this for future people who will be able to discover this in the rubble that was once our society. And it will live on because I've done a good enough job at backing all of this shit up enough times, and eventually I won't have to take any new releases and I can just do reissues forever. Tony Hawk's soundtrack. Boom.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love all of you guys. I'm Patrick. I love you, Jay Watson. You're a very good friend of mine.
I love you, Patrick.
Thank you for interviewing me.
My
It's
pleasure.
been really nice. This is an interview I took seriously and like had fun talking with you about.
Fuck yeah. Right back at you, man. Like, I'm honored to be here with you. I'm honored to know you this long.
It's been
And
great,
go
dude.
through what we've gone through and fucking still be fucking doing our thing together
It's good
by each
talking to
other's
someone
side.
that knows me intimately, you know, like isn't faking the funk. Like, that shit's cool. Like, you can't buy it, you can't fake it. And like, I really like a lot of the new kids. They're I think a lot of them are moving with honor and like building a trust-based like community, which was like I'm glad they get that, you know. That's cool.
We need that shit, kids.
Wish we had that as our starts. But
For
like,
sure.
Also, like, it was cool that like some street kids could come together like from other sides of fucking Michigan. Like, oh, you break some legs sometimes? It's like, I might. I'm not saying, not admitting it, but like, you rewind tapes slower than you need to? Yeah. Oh, alright. You know, that was a cool link, dog.
Absolutely, man.
I'm pre-social media. Like,
Everything happens for a reason, man, and like
Bam.
our paths cross for a reason, man. Like, fucking, I've had dreams where it's like
meant to.
where you're in it and shit. It's like it's just like meant to be friendship for life, man. You know.
There's
So,
been some ruckuses, man.
Hey, it's
There's
happened.
been some shit people can't fathom. Like, there's been some dramas that show. I wish we could have another podcast.
We can
episode
do
where
another
we just
one.
talk about like fucking drama and bullshit and story time.
yeah, we can do this. We got a lot to talk about
Yeah,
still.
we're old, man. Like, we've seen a lot of shit go on. We can name drop a lot of people too.
Fucking right, we can. So, this is part one. Consider this part one of the Trashfuck
fair enough,
Records
man.
interview with Placenta Recordings. So.
I'll be back on. I'll do another DJ Cyan mix too.
Oh yes, DJ Signs are gonna be on the fucking next Placenta radio show too. So stay tuned for shit from Trashfuck Records. Stay tuned for shit from Placenta Recordings. Stay tuned for Bullshit Market stuff. Stay tuned for Sweetbriar tape stuff. You know, just the whole fucking family, the whole crew, the whole posse, whatever the fuck you want to call
162
it.
tapes, 2020.
162 tapes this man dropped in 2020. Okay, so that's time to start taking notes, y'all, and then start supporting. So if you have been, we appreciate that.
Free stuff every order.
So say whatever you want to say.
Oh, that's what I had to say. If you order anything from us, free stuff every order. You want a V8 energy drink?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, one how much energy is a cup of coffee. DJ Scion, slow down all your parents' tapes and then send them to me. Thank you. Brush your teeth. Dental hygiene is important. Vote Mitch McConnell out of office.
Yeah,
Peace.
get that fool fucking on.
Boo.
Peace. 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 Peace.